Hi, everyone. I'm Christine Tulley, President and Executive Writing Coach at Defend and Publish, and welcome to episode 93, Favorite Academic Productivity Podcasts. I've been meaning to do this episode forever. I thought this might happen in episode 50. Here we are at 93, and yeah. But anyway, I decided I wanted to do an episode on what I'm listening to listen about academic productivity. So most of you know this by now if you've been listening to us. If you're new, welcome. But what we talk about on our episodes are productivity tips to get more writing completed. That's the goal of the episodes. They're designed to be short and sweet. We never have episodes that are longer than 15 minutes unless it's a really juicy topic. And the idea is just to think about one concept, work with one tool or one strategy a week. But today, what I wanted to do is let you know what I'm listening to. And if you want to add some other podcasts to your repertoire, all of these podcasts, I'm not sure any of the people producing them know I listen to them and they have no affiliation with me. So I thought I just want to put that out there. I just think they're cool and I've been listening to them. So I thought these might be useful to share if you're looking for other content in this direction. So I am going to share a screen. For those of you that are audio, you don't need this, but for YouTube folks, you at least could see a screenshot of what the episode looks like. So let's take a look at the first one. One episode or one show that I've been listening to for a long time is called The Productivity Show. And it's not about academic productivity at all, but it's about all things productivity. So it's everything from like technology things you can do to make your browser more efficient to different email hacks so you're not drowning in email to ways to organize your time during the day. And I don't listen to all of the episodes. Not all of them are relevant to me, but I would say I probably listen to 60 to 70% of them, and they are longer episodes. I've just found that a lot of the techniques make me think about a workday a little bit differently. And even though they're not about academia per se, they're strategies or hacks that I could use. So for example, they just put out an episode today, as this is getting recorded in September of 2022. I will put a link in the show notes to it. But what the episode was about, it was just a real short, this was one of their shorter episodes, but it was all about mastering your own time use and just being more of a master where you can kind of control your impulses with time. And I didn't say that probably in the best way. But what the episode essentially was about was this. The presenter talked about how he had booked 4 hours to work on his taxes, but then when that time rolled around, he didn't want to work on his taxes. And he really wanted to do something else. And if he didn't work on them then it caused a domino effect of other things happening. And so it basically, the point of the episode was to talk about setting yourself up for success by putting activities in places where you'll actually do them. And I think that's a very relevant lesson for writing. So I mentioned in many of the previous episodes that right now I'm working in the morning before I teach because I like to do my writing first when I have an open time before I teach. And so I know for me, that's when it works. When it wouldn't work for me would be in approximately the same amount of time I have later in the afternoon for all sorts of reasons. But the number one reason is I just have less energy and I'm tired by then because I've been up since 5 a.m. So the episode was about little hacks you could do to make sure you're mapping different activities in the best spots for them. So I really like Productivity Show for that, but also it introduces me to a lot of tech tools and other things that, maybe I need to spend 10 minutes learning how to use them, but then they'll save, hours of work later. So for example, they do a lot with like bookmarks and things like that. But this is one of those podcasts where they have such a giant bank of episodes. It's worth scrolling through, finding something interesting and listening. But this is one that in general, I do listen to every week or every other week, and it's been around for a long time. Another one I really like is The Academic Life. And in this one, there are interviews about just various aspects of academic life, just like it sounds, from everything from the role of libraries to what happens if you don't pass your dissertation defense. Again, it's been around for a long time. I like the format of it. I don't always listen to the topic if it's not of interest to me, but it basically explores all facets of academic life. And I would say about half of the episodes are related to writing, research, or academic productivity in some way. So I like it for that reason. And there's just a variety of guests on that are being interviewed about various aspects of the university. So if you're interested more in like a higher ed type of podcast, this is a really good one. But I think it does focus enough on writing that it's relevant to our purposes. And they very regularly put out episodes, which is another thing that I look for with these podcasts. One thing I should probably say at this point is if you search for academic writing in the podcasts, there's a lot of podcasts that are out there that, ran for a while, but then collapsed during the pandemic. And, they're great. There's still great episodes in there, but they're not ones that are regularly showing up in your feed. So at the moment, I picked podcasts they've been around for a long time and they have the content and they just regularly produce episodes. So you don't get hooked on it and then wonder where an episode is. With a caveat, because I'm going to talk about a brand new podcast I just discovered in a second. But The Academic Life, along with the productivity show I just mentioned, is a good episode. Another one, oops, my little screenshot died there. Another one I really like is Research Pages, because I have yet to find a podcast as good as this one on supporting academic research. It's just called Research Pages podcasts. All of these are on Apple. Most of them are on Spotify. Some are in other podcast aggregators. But at least in this one, I like how it talks through some of the different developments and things like open access. I put a screenshot on this. I put a screenshot up for YouTube watchers on some of these issues that we're looking at. It's a newer podcast in the way that the episodes haven't been around for years and years, but it's been pretty reliable in terms of putting episodes out maybe every 1 to 2 months. So this is not a weekly podcast producer as a productivity show is and This Academic Life. But this one does put out regular episodes that they're kind of like the right size for me. They're, between 20 and 30 minutes. And I just like the focus on research. So it looks like that they'll be, they've been pretty regular so far. The other thing I really like about it is that it's a joint discussion between an academic librarian and a computer scientist. So I just think the mix of those two things are cool, but I do listen to this one and I like it. And the last one I want to put out here is a brand new podcast I came across. It is called 100 Mistakes Academic Writers Make and How to Fix Them. And so basically every episode focuses on one of these 100 mistakes. I haven't caught all the episodes yet because I discovered it maybe a week ago. But so far the episodes have been coming out pretty regularly and the ones I've listened to I've enjoyed. So this is more like practical type of writing advice. And I'm not sure it will meet every academic writer's need, but I think it does cover most of the basics. And so far I really like the episode. So hopefully it'll stick around and you may want to check that one out as well. So if you have other academic podcasts that are supporting faculty productivity, writing, research, or some other area that you're interested in that would be relevant to our Defend and Publish community, by all means, please, contact us on Twitter, drop me an email at Christine@defendandpublish.com. I will keep putting these out there as I come across them because I don't like to put tools out that I'm not actually using or podcasts I'm not actually using, but I'd love to discover more and put them out there for everybody else. So hopefully these episodes helped, and thanks for joining us this week. Happy writing.